Again, fight fans, welcome to Mindful Combat. If you're new to this channel, my name is Rohan and this is my platform where I do boxing and MMA related content, and you're watching episode 9 of my As Requested series, my series where you, the subscribers, decide which video I'll make on Mondays by simply commenting in the comment section below. I'll pick out a video suggestion at random, and if you have a channel, I'll give your channel a shout out, and if you don't have a channel, then I'll pick out a random channel to give that shout out to. Anyways, the suggestion for this video comes from my regular subscriber and regular commenter on Bradford Lad. Bradford Lad asked me, who do I think are some of the best prospects that are coming up in MMA that deserve some attention? So no, that's not his direct words. I don't have the actual direct quote in front of me. You'll actually notice I'm not in my cubicle, but I've had tons of stuff going on in life, so still wanted to make the video for you guys. So anyway, here we are. So for me, when we're looking at prospects that are going to do something in MMA, I think it's important to think about MMA in terms of the sport and not MMA in terms of UFC, which a lot of casuals would do. I think it's important to highlight some guys that are coming up, have tons of talent, and maybe they're not signed to UFC, or they may be in a long-term agreement with other promotions. For example, Aaron Pico would have been on this list once upon a time, not no more, but he would have been a top prospect to watch, and obviously he was signing a long-term development program for Bellator. But this should be interesting. I just want to give a big thank you to my little brother Danish. Danish has helped me with this list because I've been so busy. I haven't had the opportunity to do the research I would like. These are all guys that I'm familiar with, and these are all guys that I would have put on the list anyway, but he just helped get some key details for me. So anyways, guys, without further ado, here's my top 4. Not in any particular order, but I'm just going to call it counting down 4 to 1 anyway. I'm not saying number 1's my best prospect. These are all top prospects I think you should look out for. So anyways, one of the first guys that jumps out at me, and this is a guy that I've actually been pretty big on myself when I've been speaking to some of my friends, is Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper, who was on the Dana White's Tuesday Night's Contenders, has looked absolutely exceptional. He's got a pretty good record. He's got 8-0 with 1 draw mixed martial arts record, so he's still undefeated. He's still a young kid. He's 18 years old, which makes him a full 10 years younger than me. Some savages coming up now, young kids, and he's a very talented young prospect, and I think he's going to go on to do a lot of great things. He's pretty all-rounded as well, and like he's got a well-rounded skill set, well-rounded game, and he's a guy that I think deserves a lot of attention. So for number 4, I would say Chase Hooper. Check him out. It's a real good prospect, and if you haven't seen him already, give him a look. And if you have already, well, then I'm sure you'll be able to agree. And actually, let me know what you think about his skill set. At number 2 is a guy who fights for Bellator. He's a young 25-year-old man with an exceptional mixed martial arts record of 21 wins and no losses. This is actually Yaroslav Amosov. Now, Yaroslav Amosov is a good example of guys. Well, it's a good example of the evolution of mixed martial arts, where fighters are getting the opportunity to build up more experience in their record and not being rushed into world title fights, the opposite of what Aaron Pico has done for some reason. But Yaroslav Amosov is, like I said, he's 21 and he's had the opportunity to grow, but he's still a young man. So just because he's got a lofty record doesn't mean he should be rushed into a title fight. I believe he's got to earn his stake still. He's still got to demonstrate it. But when I look at his skill set, you know, he's got a pretty well-rounded game. When you look at some of his wins, he's already got some pretty interesting key wins. And Eric Silva and Gerald Harris, both good guys, obviously not world championship caliber. He's not graduated to being a contender yet. He's definitely still a prospect, but he's definitely coming along well, and he's showing some good stuff, and like I'm pretty impressed by him. So here's a guy that I think deserves some attention. So that's Yaroslav Amosov I have at number 3. Going down is a guy that I'm actually very, very, very impressed in, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Eddie Alvarez in the upcoming One Championship lightweight tournament final. That's Sajid Hussein Arslan Aliyev. His name's a bit of a mouthful, and I'm not the best at pronouncing names, as you guys would know, particularly if you've been on my channel a little while. But this is a great fighter. It's a guy who's very talented. He's a young man. He's 8-1 in MMA. He fights out of Turkey. The one loss that he has had is a disqualification. He's got some good wins in MMA as well. He's still only 24 years old. He's beaten the likes of Amir Khan, not the boxer Amir Khan. He's beaten the One Championship contender Amir Khan, who's a pretty good fighter, and he's got hard, heavy hands. He hits really, really hard. And he's got high-level wrestling, grappling, and BJJ. He's pretty impressive. He's a guy that I think is going to do well. I think he's going to win the tournament and probably going to go on to beat Christian Lee for the belt. And Christian Lee is another guy who I think a lot of, but he's obviously a champion. So Sajid Hussein Arslan Aliyev, check him out. Real great fighter, and I think he's going to do good things against Eddie Alvarez. I actually been picking him to get the win over Eddie Alvarez. So that's the guy to go for. At number one, unofficially, not actual number one, not number one in my list. I don't think he's the best prospect, but at number one in this list for the purpose of this video, I'm going to put Mads Burnell. You might be thinking to yourself, wow, that's an interesting name. He sounds familiar. Wasn't he that guy that was a bum washout in the UFC? He went 1 and 2. Yes, he went 1 and 2 in the UFC, but he is no washout and he's no bum. He's actually a very, very, very good fighter, and he's still a very young man. He's still only 25 years old. He has a professional record of, I believe, 13 and 3 overall coming into this fight, and coming into this list, and he's just a very talented guy. So his last fight in the UFC was actually against Arnold Allen, a guy who's gone on to be streaking in the UFC. I believe he's 5-0 in the UFC just now. And in that fight, he was actually beating Arnold Allen. I had him up 2 rounds before he lost that fight, and he's got that sort of Philly shell boxing style that I find really appealing. He will stand in front of the boxer the whole time. He's got a great chin, great cardio. He's obviously still very young. He's still got some kinks in his game. He's got a few losses he's picked up along the way, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's all learning opportunities. Losses that he's gathering are learning opportunities, and I feel like he's putting together a nice run, and we're going to see him make his way back into the UFC. He's gone 3-0 since he washed out from the UFC, and he's actually a Cage Warriors champion right now, a belt that is familiar with those of you who have followed Conor McGregor's career for any period of time. So that's another guy. So that's a guy who I think you guys should check out, and it's also a good example that a prospect doesn't need to stop being a prospect just because he came to the big show and washed out. Guys can rebuild, still young, still talented, and still has a ton of future ahead of him. So check him out, guys. That's Mads Burnell, who I think a lot of. Anyways, guys, moving on. So for this video shout out, I'm going to give a shout out to my boy from over in Canada. I was about to say Toronto, but I don't think he's actually from Toronto. I'm not. Yeah, he's definitely from Canada. But anyway, his name's Wyatt Matheson. You'll see him in the comment section below. I'll link his channel as well. He's a great dude. Lately, he's been doing more reaction videos to Fluffy. What's his name again? Mr. Iglesias, Gabriel Iglesias, and he's a real funny dude. He's got great comedy. Me and him tend to disagree on fights a lot. He tends to get some over on me, which annoys me. But you know what? He's a good dude. He's real funny, and he definitely deserves your attention. He also talks about some other stuff, like he's had some health issues and stuff like that, and he likes to give it some light. So definitely give him a check out if you haven't already. I'll link him in the description below. And anyways, guys, so what's going to be in my next video? Why don't you comment below with your video suggestions? Comment below and let me know what you want to see as the next video for my next As Requested series, number 10. Let's make number 10 a special one. Actually, I had some real great suggestions in my previous video, so I might actually go back to one of my previous suggestions. Tons of great suggestions, tons of great channels for me to shout out, and that might be a way I go. So yeah, comment below. I'll see if I can pick out a suggestion from this. If none appeals to me, then I'll pick out one from the last one. And yeah, anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I'm Rohan. This is Mindforcombat, and you're great.